Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. In some previous videos, you mostly see the inside of my garage, and some of the yard, and occasionally the office in here. But I do actually have other rooms in the house, some of which are not filled with dumpster dive boats and dead computer parts. So here we've got the living room. Normal American living room, normal American furnishings, normal American pets. You know, just regular, everyday stuff all around. And like every good American household, we have a nice big TV. It's right there. Okay, so technically this is the TV. We've got a projector set up, and then we use the entire opposite wall as the screen. So we basically just have a white wall for the projector screen, and we did put some slightly different paint on it. You can see over on this side is the projector screen paint. Over on this side is the regular paint. It's not 100% smooth. There's a little bit of texture to it still, but it's really not noticeable from back on the couch at all. Okay, and I may have fibbed a little bit about not having junky computers in this room, because what we actually play our media and TV off of is an old secondhand computer. Also hiding in this corner, we've got the audio receiver, a subwoofer, and any of the ugly wires that we don't really want to look at. The cats are pretty convinced that some small animal lives inside the subwoofer. Now, oddly enough, one thing I've never been able to understand is audio, stereo systems, speaker systems. They just don't make any sense to me, and half the time they don't even work. Currently, we just have a regular PC computer with the audio piped into this 5.1 surround sound receiver, and I've tried a few different ways to do that. We tried a sound card with component out, we tried the mini jack out. I think right now we're using an optical sound out, which was some kind of really big audio fad in the 90s, and I don't know if anyone still uses that, but it's the only thing that seems to still work with this. And then the other problem is surround sound speakers don't seem to exist anymore. If you go on Amazon or online, I can't find them anywhere. I ended up having to get these really weird off-brand ones from overseas, and they seem to kind of work with that receiver, but then they also have to be a really specific impedance and have all these other specifications that I have little to no understanding of. We've actually gone through several sets of surround sound speakers and receivers, and none of them seem to work together or with the computer, even if they're all the same brand. So these days when you go to buy a speaker system, pretty much the only option you get is this monolithic bar that's supposed to sit underneath your TV. Nobody seems to sell the 5.1 speaker systems anymore. And those bars maybe are great, but they only have about a 4-foot length of HDMI cable. They're supposed to sit, you know, under your TV if you have a traditional TV, with your receiver and your DVD player and all that stuff next to it. But if all your components are back at the other end of the room, there's no real way to get the audio up to that magic bar in the front. Now, since we are using the old style analog speakers, I've run the wires out of the receiver into this little convenient hole in the corner, and that hole was actually there. That goes right down into the basement. I don't know what that was for originally, but it came with the house. So then the wires all go through the basement ceiling and up into this opposite wall, and then they come out of the wall into our speakers. And originally the holes were behind the speakers because originally I had a different speaker setup, but as I said, those didn't work. We got these little baby ones, and now you get to see a little more of the ugly wiring. Anyway, we've been really happy with the projector. It makes for a giant screen. It's pretty easy to use. It's easy to swap out if we ever want to get a new one. It's just that tiny little unit up there versus a big heavy TV. It also makes for a really great cat toy. Our cats are just really attracted to the mouse cursor, and they want to chase it all over the screen. They can spend hours chasing this thing around. We have one cat who kind of ignores laser pointers, but he still loves to chase this thing on the wall. Let's share some downsides of having a projector and computer as your media system. When you're running the thing off of Windows, you will occasionally run into the dreaded Windows update. Another issue, if you have a dusty house, and let's face it, who doesn't, you're eventually going to get some dust built up on your projector lens. That's a little bit of hassle to clean off. You got to get a microfiber cloth and get up there and wipe the thing out. And of course, if you have any pets, you're eventually going to get a pet hair way down inside the projector where you can't get to it with the microfiber cloth, you can't get to it with a vacuum. You're going to have to take your projector down, take it apart, vacuum out all the pieces, blow everything out with compressed air. It can be a real hassle. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Fluffy Kitty. There can also be some issues with ambient lighting, so if we want to watch this projector during the day, we either have to crank the brightness all the way up, which does lower the bulb life a little bit, or we have to close a curtain between the living room and the kitchen, and then close the living room curtains, make it as dark as we can in here. But despite some of the issues with flaky speakers and cat hair and whatnot, I'm still glad we have this projector set up, and I would recommend this as anyone who wants a giant TV and is at least a little bit handy with wiring and computer stuff. I think it's well worth it. It's a lot cheaper than buying a traditional TV, and it's pretty fun. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got for this video. Just kind of wanted to show what we had for a media setup, since a few people have said it's somewhat interesting, so hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.